What happened at Martinsville this past weekend? And I should note we're recording this before penalties are announced. But what happened? Why are there going to be penalties?
So basically, NASCAR a few, I guess, 10 years ago now, in one of these sports moves that are purely viewership driven, gimmicky, if you want to say that. It's not about real purity of competition. It's similar like adding a wild card or something like that. They redid their playoff system, and so it's a few rounds of 3 races each. Then they eliminate 4 drivers each time. Then the final 4 drivers get to be in the championship race. And whoever finishes the highest out of those 4 drivers is the champion in one race, right? So this last weekend was the last race before they determined who gets to race for the championship. So there's all these shenanigans going on because it was close. It was close at the end in terms of who's getting in for the last spot. And you had shenanigans on both sides of like loosely related cars, like Chevrolet cars were trying to help the Chevrolet driver make it. They were riding behind him and refusing to pass him. So, because if he had lost a spot,
Right.
he would have been eliminated. Meanwhile, the other guy, he needed one more spot, the Toyota guy. So a Toyota moved over on the last lap and he passed him. And so there was all this shenanigans going on, right? The Chevy driver ultimately made it, but they're looking after, all these teams' communications are open. They're free for everybody. Like you can listen to it. That's part of NASCAR is like the appeal is you can go to the track or at home and hear what everybody's saying. It's like listening to the NFL coach's headset, talking to the quarterback or the offensive coordinator. You can hear it. It's public.
Yeah.
So all this radio communication comes out afterwards where they're telling these people in not so vague terms, like, hey, this guy, he only needs one more position here. Let's be careful with him, And so the drivers know, like, all right, I'm not going to pass him or whatever. So this is manipulation of the race. Like this is, they manipulated the outcome of the event, essentially, right? There was a huge scandal in NASCAR in 2013 for this. One team had to go out of business because it was such a scandal. So now here again, you have something similar. And so NASCAR is forced to react after this evidence has come out and be like, oh, this is, you can't have a sport and a championship and the integrity of competition when people are messing with who's racing for the championship, who's making it. So, and it's part of it is the format is to blame, right? Because if you didn't have this one race thing and everybody was eligible as they used to be, and it was whoever had the most points wins at the end of the season, that was it. But now because they're trying to make this contrived kind of gimmicky thing, teams can kind of do some funny business if it's close, and they did.
So will NASCAR alter the format to avoid this next year?
I don't think so. They seem pretty committed to this because they think it's very entertaining. They think that they get TV ratings from it. I don't love it. I'm more of a purist.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fans are getting more and more tired of it because they're like, the people that make it this way, because it's such a short, fluky little sample size of a season, and you're resetting the points every 3 races. Like the best driver this season, the guy that won 6 races, and so one guy won 6 races this year. Nobody else won more than 3. The guy that won 6 races is not in the championship. The guy with the best average finish of this season is not in the championship. So the best drivers of the year are not even racing for the title. And you could say, well, yeah, but I mean, the Patriots went undefeated one year and then they lost the Giants in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but like every other team was not on the field at the Super Bowl at the same time. All the other cars are still racing in NASCAR. Right. So you could have the 30th place guy, he accidentally spins out and takes out another driver in the playoffs. You don't have the Carolina Panthers tripping up Christian McCaffrey as he's running down the field for the Niners to try to make a touchdown. Oh, because he was on the field at the same time. So I don't think playoffs really work in motorsports this way. Yeah. But NASCAR really, really wants to try to sell it this way. The NBC loves it. right? Because all the playoffs and look, to be fair, it does create some big dramatic game 7 moments, as NASCAR says. Sometimes they like game 7 moments, but sometimes a game 7 is special because it doesn't happen all the time. It's organic. Like Yankees Dodgers would have been great if it went to 7 games. It didn't. So next time one does go to 7 games, it's all the more special. You can't force that kind of stuff, in my opinion.